Picture two people, same job title, same city, same paycheck landing in their account on the first of the month. 5 years later, one of them has a net worth in the low six figures. The other has the same salary, a slightly nicer car, and nothing saved. Nobody got a raise the other one didn't get. Nobody won anything. So what actually happened? This is the part that trips people up. We treat wealth like it's a salary problem. Earn more, and the money problem solves itself. But talk to anyone who actually builds wealth on a normal income, and you'll notice something strange. The size of the paycheck barely comes up. What comes up is what happens to the money in the 29 days after payday. That gap between what lands in your account and what's still there a year later is the whole game. And it has almost nothing to do with how much you make. The roadmap. I'm not going to sell you a course or tell you to start a business by Friday. 6 specific, unglamorous mechanisms quietly separate people who build wealth on modest incomes from people who don't. Some you can start tonight. A couple take longer to pay off, and I'll be upfront about that as we go. We'll go in order. Fastest win first, slowest and most powerful last. Number 1, find the gap before you try to close it. Most people think they know what they spend. Almost nobody actually does. So the unglamorous first step is tracking, for real, what comes in against what goes out. Here's the part that surprises people. It's not enough to simply not overspend. Plenty of people break even every single month, spend every dollar they earn, save nothing, but never technically go into debt. From the outside, that looks responsible. Financially, it's identical to being broke because there's nothing left over to actually put to work. The goal isn't spending at your means, it's spending meaningfully below them on purpose. So there's a gap left every month that belongs to your future instead of your present. Number 2, automate the percentage, not the leftovers. Once you can see the gap, most people wait until the end of the month to see what's left over to save. There's almost never anything left over. Spending expands to fill whatever's available. So flip the order. The moment your paycheck lands, a fixed percentage moves out before you ever see it. The number matters more than people think. 10% will get you a modest retirement if you start early and never touch it. People who build real wealth faster than a normal timeline tend to land in the 20 to 30% range. Invested, not just parked in a savings account. The reason this is more forgiving than it feels. A dollar invested in your 20s has decades to compound before a dollar invested in your 40s even gets started. The earlier dollar is worth several times the later one. That's not motivation talk, that's arithmetic. Quick disclaimer, the exact numbers depend on your income, timeline, and actual market returns, which vary and aren't guaranteed. The percentage matters more than any single projected dollar figure. The earlier and more consistently you invest it, the more it works in your favor. Number 3, stop renting money at a loss. Here's a version of leverage that has nothing to do with getting rich. It's the version that quietly bleeds people dry. Carrying a balance on a high-interest credit card means you are, every month, paying rent on money that's buying you nothing. No asset grows on the other side of it. It's pure cost. You cannot outsave an interest rate in the 20s. It doesn't matter how disciplined the rest of your budget is. A balance at that rate outgrows what you can realistically put away elsewhere. So before any of the other strategies can do their job, this one gets handled first. Attack the expensive debt, highest rate down, and free up the income it's currently swallowing. Every dollar you're not paying in interest is a dollar that can go to work for you instead of against you. Number 4, audit what's on autopilot. This one takes 15 minutes, and most people never do it. Go through your bank statement and find every recurring charge. Subscriptions, memberships, services you signed up for once and forgot about. The gym you haven't been to since March. The streaming service duplicating one you already pay for. This isn't about depriving yourself of coffee. It's that unexamined spending is a leak you can't feel, running quietly whether you're paying attention or not. Closing it doesn't require willpower. It requires one audit, and the money you are losing without noticing becomes money you're saving on purpose. Number 5, increase the number you can actually move. Cutting expenses has a floor. At some point, there's nothing left to trim. Income doesn't have that ceiling, and it's the side of the equation most people never touch because it feels harder to control than a budget line. It isn't really. Negotiating your salary at your current job or when you move to a new one is one of the highest return conversations you'll ever have. A single negotiated increase compounds every year after it, on top of every future raise built off that new number. Beyond that, a side skill turned into even a modest side income does something a budget cut never can. It widens the gap without asking you to live smaller. Number 6, hold wealth, not stuff. This is the one that's easy to miss because it doesn't look like a mistake in the moment. High income and high net worth are not the same thing. Someone can look wealthy, the car, the wardrobe, the apartment, while owning almost nothing that produces value or grows over time. If the income ever stops, so does the appearance. Wealth isn't what you're seen spending. It's what you own that keeps working after you stop looking at it. The invested account, the paid down asset, the thing that's still there and still growing on a random Tuesday when nobody's watching. Putting it together. None of these 6, on their own, is dramatic. Track the gap. Automate a real percentage. Kill the expensive debt first. Audit the leaks. Push on income where you actually can. Hold assets instead of appearances. What makes them work is that they compound on each other. The debt payoff frees up cash for the automated investing. The subscription audit widens the gap that gets automated. The salary negotiation makes every other percentage worth more because it's a percentage of a bigger number. This is slower than anyone wants to hear and slightly less glamorous than a video promising a shortcut. But it's also the version that's actually available to you starting tonight on the income you already have, without waiting for a raise, a windfall, or a different life. So here's the question worth sitting with. Of the 6, which one is currently your biggest leak? And what would it look like if you closed it by Friday? Tell me which one in the comments. I read them, and it tells me what to break down deeper in the next video. And if this was useful, subscribe.